Hello. Hey, Howard. Thanks for joining. Give me a few minutes. Let me get started with this. Hi, guys. Good evening. It's Saturday, and today I'm talking about commitment. Are you really ready for a relationship? Most people say I'm ready for a relationship. Most women say I'm ready for a relationship, and I'm really talking mostly to women tonight. So if you know any woman who needs to hear this, I encourage you to share this, and let's get into this tonight and really get going. I get a lot of women say, I don't want to come to the table with anything. A man should be the one coming to the table with everything that we need in the relationship. A man shouldn't have to ask me, what do I bring to the table? Thanks, Denise. You have to realize, and when you say that, you have to realize that when you come to the table, last week I shared on commitment, on coming to the relationship table. One thing you would realize is when you say that a man should never ask you what you're bringing to the table, you're saying, I don't have any values to show this man. So it's okay for him to disrespect me. It's okay for him to treat me anyhow because I'm not coming to the table to show him what I'm made of and what I'm worth. And so when you're coming to the relationship table, you have to look at it as, what am I bringing to this relationship? What am I showing this partner that I'm made of? What is it that this partner can see in me and know that, yes, I'm of value, I'm worth it, I'm ready, and I'm committed to myself. One of the things you will realize is when you say that you don't bring anything to the table, or you don't expect a man to ask you what you're bringing to the table, you're saying, I don't have anything to show this man because I don't know my worth yet. I don't know my value yet. I don't know what I'm made of yet. I don't even know who I am yet. I don't know if I'm committed to myself yet. And one of the things you will realize is that when you're not committed to yourself, you can't really come to the table with anything. Let me say that part again. When you're not committed to yourself, you can't really come to the relationship table with anything. When you come to the relationship table as a woman or a man who's ready for commitment, you already know what your needs are and you're meeting them. You already have defined requirements that you're coming to the table with. You already know that you're ready for the committed relationship because you're ready to vet your partner. Remember, I always share this with you. Dating is a vetting and sorting game. So you're already coming to the table to vet and sort to make sure that this partner that you're coming to sit with is someone who can meet up with your values, is someone who can meet up with your requirements, is someone who matches up to you and can complement you. But when you say that, I don't need to show a man what I can bring to the table, I can't really talk about my finances at the table because I expect him to take care of the finances, you're telling him you're not ready to be committed to yourself financially, and you're not ready to be committed to the relationship. Commitment is about dedication. It's about responsibility. It's about becoming accountable. And if you're coming to the relationship without becoming responsible for yourself yet, what can you expect? You can't be committed in such a relationship because you haven't really looked at yourself and say, I'm owning my responsibility. I'm accountable for myself. I'm meeting my needs. I know what my value is. And I can let a man see my value when I sit with him at the table to talk about what I'm looking for. Reality is that most of us don't know what we want. And the want is temporary because most of us don't know what we need. And so it's very easy to do the talk, but not walk the talk. And when you're just doing the talk, it's because you don't really know yourself yet. You're not really committed to yourself yet. You're looking for someone to fill the void that you have without meeting those voids. It's like coming with the problems, coming with the emotional wounds that are not healed yet and saying, I'm hoping that you will come to this relationship and bring the finances in while I just sit and dine. What happens in such a relationship when COVID hit in 2020, and maybe that partner who is in the 6-figure range or the 7-figure range had to lose their company, their business? What happens when you don't come with the finances? When you're not committed to yourself yet? When you're not willing to commit to a relationship yet? Because when one person goes down, the other person is supposed to be able to lift you up. It's iron sharpens iron, deep calls unto deep. But when you're looking for the man to take care of the finances, when you're just looking to come in with whatever you are and how you are, and not think about what can happen in the future to your relationship, then you're saying, I'm not going to be responsible, I'm not dedicated, I'm not loyal, I don't have those values to bring to the table. Part of values that you can bring into a relationship is responsibility, loyalty, commitment. If you don't have those three, then you're going to come to the table half-filled, and then when you're drained out, you're going to blame your partner and sheep blame. I shared a video yesterday on recognizing when you have emotional wounds and trauma that you haven't healed from and how those affect the relationship. And what you have to understand is when you're not there yet, don't even try to get into a relationship, because what happens when you get into a relationship when you're not committed to yourself yet is you keep getting beaten. You keep getting smacked with the awakening that there are still some pieces of you that's not ready yet, that's not committed to you yet, that's only looking for the convenience in the moment, but not looking for the commitment. And when you're settling for convenience, you're looking to be in a transaction. I can come in with what you can give me, but I don't really care about what I can give you. Let me say that part again. I can come in with what you can give me, but I don't really care what I can give you. That's a transactional relationship. I just want to come in for what I can get. I don't care about what you want. It's all about me. And that's a selfish relationship. That's a transactional relationship. And if you really want commitment, you have to be selfless enough and vulnerable enough to say, you know what? No matter what happens here, we're in this together. It's partnership. And if you don't know how to build partnership, then you have to look at yourself. Where am I with, hey, Helene, I see you. Helene says that's the reality of it. And you have to look at it like, if you're not there yet, what do you want really? Is the question you need to start asking yourself. What do you want? What are you looking to get? What are you looking to come to, to be in that relationship for? Is it just someone to meet your needs and you not be there for them? And what you discover is that when that relationship happens, it's just going to make you convenient at the moment. It's just convenience. I'm going to come because I want to make myself okay, but I don't really care about you. And that's why you see when you go into a relationship, such a relationship as a woman, what happens is you'll be disrespected. You haven't shown that man what you're worth. You've only shown him, I'm here to get. I'm here for a transaction. And so when you're in a transaction, it's very easy to be disrespected. It's like, you know what? I don't want to buy this anymore. Yeah, it was convenience. I was getting this. Now I don't need it anymore. I can get it somewhere else. And if you look at partners that cheat when you're dating and somebody decides to ghost and go start another relationship, it's because they're sick and tired of what you're not showing. You're not showing your value. You're saying, here I am, use me for whatever it is, because I don't know my value and I don't know my worth. And when you don't show your self-worth, which also comes with self-respect, you're going to be disrespected. We are what we present and what we accept. And if you're accepting less than what you really want, then you have to start by getting committed to yourself. Commitment entails knowing who you are, loving yourself enough, and becoming whole. You don't really have to be complete whole, but you're already working the healing journey. You're already doing the work. Darnie says yes. You're already doing the work. And your partner can see that you're doing the work. But if you're not committed to yourself and you're not doing any work and you're just doing the talk, guess what? That partner will come in and tell you exactly what you want to hear, not what you need to hear. Because it's very easy for me to say, Helen says, wow, we really need to wake up. It's very easy for me to tell you what you want to hear, to soothe your ego and to allay your fears that are temporary. But on the long term, what do you find yourself doing? Repeating the same patterns and cycles in the relationships. You leave this relationship, you get into the next one, and it's like all men are the same. All women are the same. Because you haven't learned the lessons yet. You're not getting the awakening yet. You're going to worry. You're going to obsess. You're going to chase. You're going to beg. You're going to be disrespectful to yourself. Because what happens when you disrespect yourself by begging and chasing is you're going to get disrespected back. You don't know what your value is, and you're not showing your value to the partner. So how can you expect that partner to be committed to you? You're not yet committed to yourself. You're not owning the truth yet. That you're not there yet. But you're looking to just be in a convenience relationship. Oh, especially now. And I'm saying this because this is holiday season. This is cuffing season. This is the time where people settle. Because it's like everybody's cuddly. There's so much romance in the air. But romance is not the relationship. Let me type that out because I always echo that. Romance is not the relationship. If the foundation of the relationship is not solid, romance will just be useless. Because what happens when you focus on romance is this. A man can come in and play on your emotions because you're all lovey-dovey. But you're not still showing what value it is. Helen says romance is not the relationship. That's the truth. You're not still showing him what your value is. And I'm not saying show him by cooking and cleaning. That's showing him that you're desperate. Let me say that part again. When you're busy doing the cooking and cleaning, what you're doing is performing. Let me perform so that I can win the relationship. Let me manipulate you by cooking and cleaning so that I can buy your love. But you're still not showing your worth. Lynn said I had to type it as well. You know, you're not still showing your worth. How can you make a partner see your worth? You have to lay it at the table. What are those core values that you're bringing into the relationship? And when you sit down to have that conversation, you can let that partner see your value. Let me tell you the truth. Women don't like to hear it from a female coach. I get a lot of female clients that come and leave and then email me back and say, I want to come back. And I tell them, you left because you don't want to hear the truth. But the truth is what will set you free. Thank you so much, Helene. The truth is what sets you free. If I can sit with you as a man, the first 5 minutes of sitting with you, a man can decode you. And he can tell, this one, I'm just going to play with her because she's already emotional and she's just showing... Thanks so much, Darnice. She's just showing me the surface. I can't see the depth of her soul. I've shared this quote with you. Let a man connect with your soul before he connects with your body. Because that man that connects with your body will disrespect you. Let a man Let a man connect with your soul before he connects with your body. Because when he connects with your soul, what you're showing him is what you're made of. He's seeing your value. He's recognizing that this is not a woman to play with. You're showing him, I am not the toy. I am not here for games. This is what I'm showing you, my values. And if you don't respect my values, then you can't be in my space. That's called healthy boundaries. You're showing him your values, and you're showing him your values, and you're showing him your healthy boundaries. Darnie says, wow. And Helene says, that's true intimacy. That's what all intimacy is about. How can you make him see your values when you see it and show him that you're ready for commitment, because your values are what makes him know, and your healthy boundaries are what make him know that you're not going to settle for less. A man can sit with you for the first 5 minutes, and as he's decoding you, he can tell, this is a girl I can call, this is a woman, it's a girl because you're not woman up yet. This is a girl I can call at midnight and she will pick my calls. And I can start to really play the game to know how her emotions are, so I can work the emotions. And then he calls you every minute and you're like, hey, this was my day. Have you eaten? Are you good? You're playing the mommy role. You're performing. Helen says, ouch. It's very painful, but it's the truth. And it's the truth that will set you free. You're busy performing. He calls you and you're like, and then you don't hear the call in the next 30 minutes based on the schedule that he's known about you. And then he calls like maybe 3 hours outside of the regular time that he calls. And you're like, why didn't you call me earlier on? You've already shown him you're codependent. You've already shown him you don't have boundaries, because you've been picking the calls and you've been running on the emotional roller coaster ride, and he hasn't seen that you're worth anything, and he hasn't seen that you're not somebody he can play with, because he's already playing on your emotions. And then when he doesn't call anymore and he decides to ghost, what are you going to start doing? Chasing and begging and pleading and trying to call me. And you know what that is? That is trauma bonding. That is evidence that you also have trauma that you haven't healed from. Helene says you are right. We make ourselves so available. When you are so whole in your and you know yourself, you're not easily ready to everybody. How many times will your friends call you sometimes and you're like, hey, I don't have time now, I'm busy. But the guy calls you and you're like, yes, I'm here. Because you've shown him that you don't know your worth yet. You've shown him you don't respect yourself enough yet. You've shown him that you don't have healthy boundaries yet. And so you've shown him you're ready to settle for convenience, but not commitment, because you haven't shown him how committed you are to yourself. Part of commitment to yourself is to have healthy boundaries. Part of commitment to yourself is to have me time. How many times have you seen men jump at every time you say, let's do something? He's going to tell you, oh, I have time with my guys tonight. We're hanging out, because he values his time. But you don't have time. You have to cancel everything and make yourself easily available, because you're not ready for the committed relationship yet. You're dropping every single thing to be in his presence, showing him that you aren't available to yourself. but you're available to him. Let me say that part again. You're making yourself easily available to him, but you're not available to yourself. You're not committed to yourself yet. So it's a convenient relationship. It's not a commitment. And you always have to remember, dating is a vetting and sorting game. It's not a relationship. I have to type that out. Dating is a vetting and sorting game. It's not a relationship. And so if you focus on the fact that you're still trying to get to know someone and you think that you're in a relationship, you're playing a game. That's what you're doing. You're playing a game. Because you don't know that person yet. You can't know him in 2 weeks. You can't know him in 3 weeks. You can't even know him in 10 weeks. Because it takes 6 to 9 months to really know and understand someone. Minimum 6 to 9 months. Because the first 3 months is easy for that person to perform and package themselves and present themselves as who they want you to think they are. But the more you get to become friends with them, how much do you know about your friends? Don't you know much about your friends than the person you're dating initially? It takes time to build that trust. You can't build trust in 3 weeks and say, I already trust this guy, so we're all cool. Helene says vetting and sorting. I'm learning to do more of that. It's about the friendship first. Don't run the emotional race. What you discover is if you're running the emotional race, there's still buried pain or trauma that you need to deal with. How are you making him realize this woman can speak with me emotionally intelligent manner that I can see the value she's made of? That's a virtuous woman. You can see with the man and drop emotional intelligence and he can see it and say, wow. He's sitting with you and he's talking about, I need to win this contract. And all you're saying is, I saw this bag today that I wanted to buy. That's dirt cheap. I'm shooting it straight today. I'm a straight shooter. I don't keep anything on. I don't sugarcoat because I don't believe in sugarcoating, because sugarcoating doesn't set you free. It only holds you bound. You have to think about it. You're saying he's talking about business and you're talking about buying stuff. And he's thinking about earning. You're thinking about spending. He's going to look at you like, okay, I can waste my time with this one. I have enough time to waste because I haven't found the one yet. So let me just play around with this person. And at the end of the day, man will tell you to your face. He'll say, you know what? You wanted the game. So I played the game with you. So what else do you want? You have to get it real before we get into 2021. This is what I do with clients in the Purposeful Relationship Inner Circle. Because again, it's about helping you get it right before you hop into that relationship. Don't let anybody tell you, oh, he's not into you because... No, he's not into you because you're not committed to yourself. And you're not ready for that committed relationship. You're only settling for convenience. Because you're not yet into yourself. So he can't be into you. As a single woman, you have to set the pace for the relationship you want. And you have to understand that the men are hunters and they know how to play the game to test you. Would you pass the test? That's the question. I remember I had a client, I think it was 2014. She met the guy and the guy was going to test her because I spoke with him. I wanted to see where he was because they came in with a conflict and I was trying to speak with both of them, but I spoke with him separately And he said, I haven't really seen why she wants me to commit to her. And until I see that, I can't do the commitment. So I said, you know what? Let's play the game. She's coming over to you tomorrow. Why don't you make a mess of your apartment? And see if she's going to say a word about what she sees when she comes in. And Eileen says, men are always testing us. They're good at the game. They're hunters. That's their nature. So he said, you know what? I invited her over. And so I kind of put some of my clothes in the living room. And she picked the shirt on the chair she wanted to sit and threw it in the next chair and just kept the conversation. It was just all emotions. I said, she didn't say anything about, why did you leave your apartment this way? He was like, no, she just sat down, took the shirt, put it on another chair, and it was just all the romance stuff that she was talking about. And I said, that's the sign. She's not ready for commitment. A woman who is grown will come in and be like, what the heck is this place like? I'm not cleaning up, but I'm telling you, you shouldn't be leaving the mess like this. And once you drop that, you're not the mommy, so you're not there to be the cleaner. He's not hiring you to clean. Your job is not to go in there and clean. But if you say something, you're showing the man that you have a concern about the way he's leaving. And that bothers you. But when you see it, and it's like, shirt over here, let's talk about the romance, because that's all I'm about. He already sees you're not ready for commitment. You're just all lovey-dovey. And lovey-dovey doesn't put food on the table. Have you ever seen romance put food on the table? Romance doesn't put food on the table. Romance doesn't even show your values at the table. Yeah, you want to show him you're romantic. It's easy for him to get into the cookie jar. That's all you're showing him. Here I am, get all the lovey-dovey, begin to touch me in the right places, and get the cookie. And after he gets the cookie, he's like, dang, no more picking up the phone. And then you complain, oh, he used me and he went. No, you gave into the game and he played the game and won. It's that simple. It's serious, but sometimes we have to laugh about it because I've also done the stupid thing before when I was much younger. And you have to realize it. Do you blame the man when you're not showing him what you're worth? Helene says, wow. Do you blame the man? At the end of the day, when you get angry, remember what I said in the video I shared yesterday. Your anger is based on some emotional wounds that are buried that you haven't healed from. It has nothing to do with that guy. It has everything to do with the fact that he came to awaken you. You're not ready for what you want yet. That's what it is. That's why I always say, when you come to know who you are, you're going to go back and thank those partners and say, you know what? I forgive you because I need my freedom. I'm not going to hold that grudge against you because you didn't do me anything, but you brought me an awareness. And as you go through the healing process in the Purpose Relationship Circle, if you join, you'll learn how to go back and just make peace. Every single person that I dated when I was young, we're still very good friends. I hang out. There was one that I even met his wife, and I was like, thank you for feeding him. He was so skinny when we dated. And you have to realize this people bring you awareness, but if you're not getting that conscious awakening, you will just continue to settle and repeat patterns and blame partners. Oh, he's an idiot. Oh, she's a jerk. But what was your role? Dating is a vetting and sorting game, and it's played by adults. And if you're not responsible for yourself when you're dating and vetting, you're not committed to yourself when you're dating and vetting, what happens is you fall for the game and somebody wins the game. And the person who wins the game is the person who brought you the awareness, showing you you're not ready for commitment. You don't know who you are yet. You don't show me your values yet. So what do you think I'm looking for at the table? I didn't see it. So I'm moving on to the next. I'm playing on the game. Because we're not in a relationship. It's a game. If it's making sense to you, type yes, yes, yes. Because I really want you to get it as a single woman. The man would always be there. But you have to show the man what you're worth. And you have to show him that you're independent and you're not going to depend on him in a relationship. Helene says yes, yes, yes. You have to show him that you're coming to the relationship as you are and you can be independent without depending on him. Because when you're codependent, what happens is you're going to trauma bond. And that's why you find when you meet someone, when you haven't gone through the healing process, when you meet someone and you start sharing your painful past experiences, what do you get? Oh, that sounds familiar. We have so much in common. That's trauma bonding. Oh, I feel your pain. That pain felt like my pain. And boom, we trauma bonded. Darnie says yes, yes, yes. And we trauma bond, and the conflicts based on our trauma begin to fight war, and we lose it. It's not going to work. I shared this on my personal profile yesterday. Most singles say they want unconditional love, but they're looking for relationships based on conditions. Most singles say they want unconditional love, but they're looking for relationships with conditions. And when you're coming with conditions to the relationship, it cannot be unconditional and it will not last or work. Did you get that? Let me type that out. Most singles say they want unconditional love, but come to the table with conditions. The relationship won't work, won't last or work, because you've already built a transaction. You've already built a transaction. You've already built a transaction, and you've shown the guy all you're looking for is a transaction. I'm going to bring my conditions, and if you don't meet my conditions, because I have expectations, then we can't be in a relationship. Then that's not unconditional love. You're coming with conditions. Unconditional, there's no condition. So how do you want that relationship to work when you're already coming with conditions, and what your partner is seeing is your unrealistic expectations, not your values, not your requirements? How can the relationship work without you getting played on? That's a transaction. It's not a relationship. Transactions are unhealthy. It's like going to the store and saying, I want to buy the shoe. It has to be size 9. And they give you a size 9, you try it on, but it doesn't fit you. Because the maker made the size 9 smaller. But you want a size 9. Your expectation is that that size 9 has to fit you. But they bring out the shoe in the store. The clerk brings out, the rep brings out, the sales rep brings out the shoe. But it's a size 9, but it doesn't fit you. but you had the expectation that it will fit. But it's not meant for you. That's the way it is with a relationship. How am I showing you that I know what I need? Helene says, what's the difference between requirements and conditions then? Great question, Helene. So your requirements are based on what you're looking for. And sometimes your requirements are tied with your values. They're not conditions. I know what I'm looking for. Like I shared, I think it was last week I shared with you. You can say, I want a Christian man. Anybody can have the title Christian, right? You can say, I want a man with the fear of God. That's your requirement. It's not a condition, right? It's your requirement. He has to have the fear of God. But how are you describing the fear of God so that that requirement is met? It's not a condition. He has to be spiritual. He has to be grounded. These are my requirements. They're not conditions. Conditions are like, you must do this for it to work. If you're not doing this, then it can't work. He's going to look at you like, it's like telling a man, like the financial thing is sometimes conditioned. If you say, he must be the one earning the 6 figures and I must not do anything financially. I shouldn't be paying part of the mortgage. That's a condition. He must pay the mortgage. How have you shown him that you're already meeting that need in your space? Are you paying mortgage? It's a requirement. I already meet this need in my space. And so that person has to be a reflection of me. I'm not giving you an ultimatum. Conditions are like ultimatum. Your requirement is like, these are my specs to get a TV. And if the TV doesn't have the spec, then that's not the TV I want. They're just my requirements. My requirements have to be met. And I'm not going to compromise my requirements because they're non-negotiable. But if you come and say, he must have a house and he must be paying all the mortgage, and I don't have to contribute financially, then you're not going to find that person because they're not a reflection of who you are. If you're not doing it already in your space. And let me tell you, I watched a video this week where a woman said, you don't have to make 6 figures to be with a man that makes 6 figures. Yeah, that can be true. But when you come and you expect the man making 6 figures to be buying purses and you don't know how hard he worked for it, and you haven't been in the shoes to understand it. So when you come in, okay, great, you get it. So when you come in and he's trying to make a living, you can't contribute to where he is because you don't have the vision of a 6 figure, or you don't know what the vision of a 6 figure looks like. Your partner will be a reflection of you. So wherever you are with yourself now, if you're attracting a partner that's less than what you're looking for, is because you're not yet committed to yourself. When you're committed, you attract commitment. It's law of attraction. If you're committed, you would attract commitment. You're welcome, Helen. So look at it this way. Are you really ready for convenience, or are you ready for commitment? Which one are you choosing? Are you really ready for that relationship that you say you want? You need, because one's a temporary. I can want anything. I can want ice cream today, and tomorrow all I want is water. But my needs are not being met if I'm getting ice cream and I'm still thirsty. I'm just pacifying myself. That's the difference between convenience and commitment. Convenience is, let me soothe the moment. Let me feel good, but not be good with myself. Commitment is, I'm responsible, I'm accountable, and I'm going to have a partner who's responsible and accountable. Helen said, I like to give it the way it is. Don't waste your time. Most people aren't ready. And if you're not committed to yourself, see, taking care of all this outside doesn't go far. What happens when the wrinkles come? You get a Botox. What happens when the Botox no longer works? This will fade, will shrink. But what matters is what is on the inside. That's why I shared with you, let a partner connect with your soul before they connect with your body. Because your body will fade away, but your soul continues to grow together purposefully. Because when you know who you are and you're meeting your needs and you're working with your purpose and you're meeting your goals, when you meet a partner who doesn't even have goals, you're going to be like, at the table, these are my goals. What are your goals? And he's like, I don't have goals. You're going to be like, goodbye. You're welcome, Darnice. This is why I invite people into the Purposeful Relationship Mastery. Eileen said, boy, bye. That's a boy. He doesn't have goals. He doesn't have a vision. And this is why I invite people into the Purposeful Relationship Mastery, because it's about commitment to yourself. We can play Russian roulette all the year round. And you can tell yourself stories. And you can do the makeup. And you can package and perform. But you're not committed to yourself when you're doing all of that. And the man can see it. And if the man is not committed to himself, he's going to play the game. Because he's a boy. He's still hunting. Olabisi said, goalless partner, not possible. You have to look at it. What do you really need? Commitment or convenience? If you're committed to yourself, you will recognize, Born Grace said, oh, yes, so if you're committed to yourself, you will recognize a committed partner. The minute they start talking, you're going to be like, okay, this is another storyteller. I don't have the time. And they will test your boundaries. It's like, you haven't even really known me. I don't need to because I already heard what I wanted to hear. You can't lay at the table what you're bringing to the table. So I don't see values. I don't see goals. I don't see a vision. I don't see I don't see the purpose of this relationship. It's not going to go far. Bon Grace said commitment is the point. And if you're not committed to yourself, you're just going to be like, it's Christmas time. I don't want to be lonely. Helen says commitment or convenience, you decide. I don't want to be lonely, so I'm just going to try and get in. But you keep forgetting dating is a vetting and sorting game. And in 2 weeks, you're going to be like, oh, I have a boyfriend. No, he's not a boyfriend. Because you don't even know that person yet. Bon Grace said, but sometimes it's good if a woman really loves you from her heart. How do you know her heart when you haven't connected to it? Bon Grace, how do you know her heart when you haven't connected to it? How do you know her heart when you don't know what you're looking for? But you're allowing the emotions to make the decision. How do you know her heart? So a lot of us, by really that will love me from the heart. No one can love you as much as you will love yourself, Bon Great. What you do when you love yourself is to show other people how to love you. No one can love you as much as you can love yourself. And if that partner can't see that you love yourself, what do you expect them to see? What you're going to try to do is force them to love you because you haven't loved yourself. And that's a transactional relationship. That's not a committed relationship. Please love me. take me, but you haven't taken yourself or accepted yourself or become responsible for yourself. Bon Gray, I'm not going there. You need some work. Honestly, you need some work. I know you're 40 years and you've had a lot of experiences with women. Everybody does that. But you have to love yourself first. How can you love yourself? Get with a coach. Get with a program. Read books. Educate yourself. I've read 4 books, Love, Sex, Lies, and Reality, Being Single, Beyond the Pain, on Becoming Restored. Read those books and do the workbook. Go on my website and read the articles about loving yourself. I've shared so many times. Go through my page and look at the videos on self-love because I really want to help you get there. I don't want you to go into 2021 looking for a woman who would love you with her heart without you loving yourself with your heart first. It has to do with eliminating all the emotional pain that you may have carried from childhood that makes you seek for love outside of yourself. Because the love that you are is the love that you can share and you can build on. But if you don't love yourself, no one can love you for that. You're not getting it. It's not about your soft heart. Everybody has a soft heart. And you're attracting people that are not genuine because you're not yet genuine with yourself. That's a fact. Until you do the work. And age is just a number. I want you to understand that. Age is just a number. You are the only person who can genuinely love yourself, and you are the only one who can show other people how to love you. When we don't love ourselves enough, we start looking for people to love us. Oh, I need you to love me this way. And I need you to love me this way. And you're meeting somebody who doesn't even love themselves either. And they're like, I don't know how. I can't, you have to teach me how. What can you teach somebody who doesn't know how to love themselves? Nothing. No matter what you do, they will never be satisfied. You can't help everybody born great. You can only help yourself. That's why you should stop focusing on other people and focus on yourself. Work on yourself. Leave the other people alone first. Leave the people who don't believe in anything alone first and do the work in your own space. Because when you're doing the work, you would attract what you're looking for. You will stop attracting people that lie, because the reality is when you attract people that lie to you is because you lie to yourself. I've been there before. I've done it before. I've healed from it. That's why I'm coaching people now. When you attract people that lie to you is because you're also coming into the relationship, performing and packaging yourself to be accepted and validated, forgetting that your validation comes from God and God alone, and you don't accept God's validation yet because you don't know you yet. Yes, Born Great, you have a lot of work to do. And you have to start now. Don't wait till tomorrow and think that you'll find somebody else. I was married 15 years. I did not know myself. The marriage did not work because we were both emotional baggage. You're so welcome, Helen. You have to focus on yourself first. That is why commitment to yourself is so important. And that's why I go through the 6 modules in the Purposeful Relationship Inner Circle to help you break it down to get it. We do the ego work. We do the inner work. We do the shadow work. We do the healing work. Sometimes we hide behind prayers, Born Great. I will be very real with you. Sometimes we say, oh, God is the prayers. No, you have to do the work. Faith without works is dead. When you're acting on faith, you have to do the work. You're so much welcome. This is about you getting it, and I really want you to get it. This is why I coach. This is why I write. This is why I speak. This is why I share. Because a lot of us are in places where we don't belong. and we're looking for a savior, but we haven't saved ourselves yet. You are the love that you need. But if you don't become that love, you can't attract that love. That's why relationships are never fulfilling, and there's so much void that you're so much welcome. There's so much void in so many relationships, and people think the partner is the problem. When you blame your partner, you're projecting. Look for the video I shared yesterday on emotional trauma. When you're blaming your partner, you're projecting. You're not yet committed to yourself. Commitment means I'm owning my responsibility. I'm owning my truth. I'm owning everything that happened to me. I'm owning the fact that I have to do the work. I'm owning the fact that if I'm not the love I want to attract, I would only attract less. And that's choosing to settle for convenience. Is it making sense to you? Type 1 if it's making sense to you. Because I really want you to begin to see it. Before we get into 2020, if you've been repeating these patterns and cycles and going back and forth and trying to force the relationship, it's not going to work. Helene, it's not about the men having the problem. We women also have the problem. You have to understand, and I'm going to do a video next week on why men are not getting into healthy relationships. Just a tip about what I'm sharing next week on why men can't get into healthy relationships. Childhood issues. Men have been told not to express emotions. Men have been told to man up for so long, but they keep dying to themselves without waking up to the true self. And when you don't know your true self, your identity is lost, and you're basing everything on the societal norm, the traditional norm, the cultural norm, and nothing is working out for you because you're living in a facade. You're living in a bubble. You're living in a box, but you don't know you yet. And as long as you don't know you, you would awaken fear and ego, and your ego will make decisions for you, and those decisions are irrational. So you have to commit to yourself. Commitment, dedication to yourself. If I take this time to dedicate all this work of healing to myself, how can I attract less? How can I settle? If I'm committed to doing my healing work, why would I choose less than? And if I've done all this work and I'm seeing the results, why would I rush into a relationship? Yesterday I shared with you, impatience, running from one relationship to another, is a sign of emotional trauma. I'm looking for a rescuer. I need someone to step in and take me out. It all starts with you. And I don't want you to go into 2021 every single way you've gone into the years before. 2020 is a year of awakening. And it's a year of commitment, beginning to commit to yourself. This is what I just concluded in the Purposeful Relationship Inner Circle when I shared that picture about my clients sharing their aha moments. It's only $27 a month. A lot of us think self-love is, oh, I'm going to go to the mall. I'm going to go to the spa. I'm going to take care of myself. What does the inside look like when you're taking care of the outside? Because when you take care of the outside, it's all auditioning and performing. I can make myself look pretty. I can make myself look good. But I'm not good on the inside. So I can go home at night and obsess with this look. And when I'm doing the obsession, it's a reminder of the trauma from childhood. Maybe I was told I wasn't good enough as a child. So now when I make up, I feel good enough. But are you really good enough in that point? Or that's a convenience. It's not commitment. It's not commitment. When you start committing to yourself, your circle will shrink because people will fall off you and you will not be a people pleaser anymore. People pleasing is a sign of trauma. Darnie says, OMG, yes, it's so true. Helen says, love me for my inner. If your inner is so healed, everything on the outside is peaceful. Before a partner approaches you, you're like, I can already tell what this person wants, because you're bound back with your soul, and your intuition is like, red flag. You recognize the red flag when you know who you are. When self plus love come together to become wholeness. When a distraction comes, you're not like, oh, I just met someone. You're going to be like, and you're like, red flag, red flag, red flag. And you're like, so sorry, this is not going to work. My boundaries are like coming back up. I'm not going to let you cross all the work that I've done and take me back to where I don't belong. Goodbye. When you so know yourself, your eyes will be so open to so much truth, and you're going to be like, dang, did I really do all of this? Let me tell you, when I was going through my healing process, there were days that I will cry. There were days that I will laugh and I will journal down, stupid me, stupid me, stupid me. Because I wasn't consciously aware of the decisions I was making. Helen says self plus love equals wholeness. I love it. That's what I teach. That's what I coach about. And then there were days after crying, I will laugh at myself like, did I really do that? God. And my next door neighbor during my healing process used to come and knock and say, are you all right? And I'll be like, yeah, I'm just getting my aha moments and I feel so stupid. And then there were days that I would just be like, whew, really? And then when I had to go through the forgiveness process, which is something I teach in the Purposeful Relationship Inner Circle, and I went one-on-one to the guy who raped me, and he was like getting emotional. I was like, please stop. That's not what I'm here for. I'm here to set my soul free. And it's all about forgiving you. Helen said, been there before. And I did all the forgiveness, and he started telling me all the consequences he had faced. And I was like, that's your past. That's not why I'm here. I'm here to free my soul by forgiving you and moving on with my life. And I prayed for him. And I left, and I tell you what, the next person I went to, I did the forgiveness thing. And I came back home and my heart was just like emptied out. Like there was just this lift off me. The weight was gone. And I slept like a baby, like literally slept. And I can tell you now, I don't worry about things. People are like, oh, this happened to you. Or what's going to happen? Or what's, and I'm like, why are you all panicking and worrying? My body doesn't even retain worry again. Like literally, I will sleep. I will wake up. I don't worry about, oh, this is not working. Oh, I have to try and control. You can't control anything. And once you know yourself, thank you so much, Helen. Once you control, once you know you can't control everything, when we try to control, it's a sign of trauma. Something that has happened to us as a child, and we're trying to control everything. And we're worrying and we're panicking like I shared yesterday. If you haven't watched that video, go catch up with it. And I had to look at myself like, why are these people worrying? And now if I connect with people and I had an experience this week where I connected to someone who was projecting pain on me. And I had to call her out. I literally called her out because before I could be like, oh, I'm sorry. Sorry for what? Sorry for somebody's pain? That's not mine that they're projecting. I'm committed to myself now, so I'm not going to take any BS. So I called her out. I was like, listen, you're trying to project a lot on me, but I'm not going to accept it. I am what I allow and what I accept. And whatever I accept that brings me pain, it's my own responsibility. That's part of commitment to myself. So I'm not going to accept pain because it's not my problem. So I called her out, and then I walked her through as a coach what you need to do. And she was like, you're right. And I said, no, a lot of us, you may even find yourself in the workplace. Oh, my boss is coming. I'm panicking. Because you're not yet committed to yourself. You settle for the job. And that's another relationship that you have to evaluate. And you go home and you're worrying. And you wake up the following morning and you're panicking again. Oh, I have to go to this job. The worry is a sign of trauma. You're trauma bonded with somebody at work. But that's not where you want to be. You want to be in a healthy place, and everything you're doing has to be healthy. Because that's part of the commitment to your journey to wholeness. And so you have to look at it. Am I ready for the relationship I want with myself, not to talk of with anybody else? How much are you recognizing your own worth and value? Because when you do, other people will recognize it. I can jump on a call and once I say, hey, let's do this business, and I'm like, and I hear anything that's not, I'm like, sorry, it's not going to work because I already see red flags and I'm not partaking in this. And people will call you arrogant. People will call you names when you start to know yourself, because now your boundaries are there. And they don't like boundaries because they don't have boundaries. You're committed to being healthy. And part of being healthy is to have healthy boundaries. But people who don't respect your boundaries, because you're letting them in, is showing them you're not really committed. It's like meeting a guy and the guy says, I'm still going to poke you today. I know you told me no, but I'm going to keep poking you. And you're allowing him to continue to poke you without saying, don't disrespect my boundaries. Because you want that relationship. Listen, if you settle, it's convenience. It means you're not committed to yourself. You're not holding yourself accountable. You're not taking responsibility for your own journey in life. And if a man cannot see it, it means you're not seeing it. Stop settling for the dating and vetting and sorting game. Begin to commit to yourself. Stop looking for someone to love you. Love yourself first, so that when you truly love yourself, that reflection of who you are is only what you would attract to yourself. And it's not that you have to be completely whole, because healing is a lifetime journey. Let me say that. Healing is a lifetime journey. You don't heal at once. You don't say, oh, 1 month I'm healed. You don't say, oh, I got into your coaching program for the 6 modules and I'm healed. No, you have to keep practicing it. And that's the hard part. How do I stay committed to myself if I don't work on this constantly? If I stop reading, if I stop learning, then it means I'm stagnant. I'm not growing. Give me 1 second. You know, if you're not learning anything, it means you're stale. And if you focus on the only things that you know, you will get stuck. Because the level of our ignorance is based on what we know and our ego. Let me type that out. That's a quote from my book on Becoming Restored. The level of your ignorance is based on what you know and your ego. And what you know does not liberate you because you're not learning anything new. What you know becomes stale after a while. What you know gets outdated after a while. And if you're not renewing your mind, if you're not educating yourself, if you're not working on yourself and setting goals and meeting those goals and getting support when you need to, because we all don't know everything. I have 3 coaches in my life. I have 3 mentors as well. I know the person to go to when I need to go to one person. And sometimes I will go to the 3 of them so that I can get whacked up. And I always say, just tell me the truth. Don't hide the truth from me because I enjoy being criticized. That's the only way I learn about myself. Give me positive criticism and help me go. But don't give me gaslighting. Just give me positive criticism and I'm like, what next do I need to do? How do I get there? Elise is whacked up. Yeah. And I'm like, listen, I read a lot now. I read a lot. I'm currently reading Lateral Thinking. Because I believe that when you educate yourself, that knowledge grows and your life is forever changed. When you stay in a place and think, oh, I can do bad all by myself. You repeat the patterns and then you look at yourself like, am I the only bullseye here for all these crazy guys and women? Why is it that I'm attracting all the wrong type of partners? That's because you're stuck. And you're repeating patterns. And you're not learning anything new about yourself. You're not gaining a conscious awareness. And you're not committed to yourself yet. I remember somebody reaching out to me on Facebook once and saying, it's because you're up here. I'm like, up where? I'm no different than you. The only difference is maybe because I'm working and working the commitment journey, which is a lifetime journey until the day I die. I'm not better than you. I'm never going to be better than you. We're all equal. It's just that some of us do the work. And if you're not doing the work, then you're going to start comparing yourself to other people and you're going to try to keep up with the Joneses who don't really care about you. Commit to yourself. And when you commit to yourself, you will attract people that are committed to you. You would attract a partner who will be committed to you because you're showing them who you are. You're coming to the table and laying those values. Here are my values. Here are my goals. What are yours? You're not going to sit at the table with a goalless partner and say, maybe we'll figure out your goals next year, you know. And if they say it cheaply, I have goals, evaluate their goals with where you are and where you're going in a month. Have they attained any of the goals that they laid at the table? If not, you may be wasting your time. I had a client once who said, I dated this guy for 3 years and he told me the same story every year. And I did not see him move. And I said, you're still in the game. Dating is a vetting and sorting game. He's a talker. He's not a walker. He just does the talk, but can't walk the walk. So every year, he's telling you the same goals, but he hasn't accomplished any single goal because he's just talking. And he's playing the game with you and you're playing along with him and you think that you can change him. No, you can't change anybody. You can only change yourself. And so she ended up telling him, listen, I don't want to do this because I'm accomplishing my goals. You're just dragging me along. And I say, yep, the boys will drag you along because they don't have anything to lose. And then he came back and told her after she dumped him that Well, let me move in with you because that way I can accomplish my goals. And I said, no, you're not a babysitter. He just wants to get in the cookie jar. He now wants to occupy your house, but he's not looking to accomplish his goals by himself. Moving in with you will not make him change anything that he hasn't changed in 3 years if he was committed to himself. And she ended up meeting somebody else that was great. But if she had sat with the guy who was telling the same story every year without moving an inch, she would have been stuck with somebody who was playing the game and dragging her along. And so many of us women get dragged along. Oh, well, maybe we'll save money. I'll let him move in. But he's not contributing to anything. I do all the shopping. I do all the grocery. Hello? That's you being a caregiver. That's you being a babysitter. What does he bring to the table? What are you bringing to the table? What have you both seen that you can compromise on? He doesn't have goals. He's just sitting and racking up bills and you're paying. Is that the kind of relationship you want? She was like, no. So why are you allowing what you don't want? You have to realize that to be ready for commitment starts with you. If there are questions, I'm going to be taking your questions now because in the next 5 minutes, I'll be signing off. But if you have questions, drop it. Get your questions answered while I'm here because all I'm doing is supporting you to get it right in 2021. Stop playing house. Stop running on the emotions. Start committing to yourself. The pace at which you set for the relationship is how you will be valued. The what that your partner sees that you bring to the table is how you will be respected. It's not about talking alone. It's about walking and talking at the same time. Owning it. Own every little piece of thing that has happened to you. The experiences, because there lies the lessons that bring you the strength. If you're not learning the lessons, you won't accomplish anything. Every little experience that you've gone through, painful or not, brings the lessons. When you take those lessons and you implement them and gain the conscious awareness, you turn them into your own blessings. And when you turn them into your blessings, you begin to grow. And you begin to gain the conscious awareness to knowing who you are and become committed to yourself. It's not about projecting. It's not about worrying. It's not about obsessiveness. It's about working on you. Doing the inner work so that the outward can be seen for who you truly are. Not the performance, not the auditioning, not the packaging. Because those will all put you in trouble. For every choice you make, there is a consequence that you face. Poor choices, negative consequences. You don't deserve that. You deserve better. But you have to be better to really know that you truly deserve better. Since there are no questions, I'm going to be signing off. Today's Saturday. I need to cook for the week and to also do my laundry. I still have life and my time is very precious. But I wanted to come on. I couldn't get on yesterday because I had so much on my plate yesterday. But I wanted to come on today to share this with you and to continue to support you and challenge you to find yourself, to love yourself, to attain wholeness, to heal from the past, to not be your own blessing blocker and self-sabotage, self-loathe, self-doubt, settle for convenience when what you need is commitment. Commitment starts with you. And it's going to end with you, because the more committed you are to yourself, the more you're showing people how to be committed to you. There's a lot of trauma bonding going on in our world today. There's a lot of people walking dead without knowing it. But you have to be so committed to yourself to say, you know what? I'm tired of going back and forth without really getting to where I need to get to. I need to do the work so that I can show other people how to work with me, how to live with me, how to share with me what I need to do in my own space. The love that you have is the love that you can give. You can never love anyone from a place of pain or trauma, including yourself. That's from my book, Beyond the Pain. Do the inner work. It is so beautiful when you do it. I tell you, when I look at my life now, 11 years ago, if anybody had told me that if you do the healing work, if you go on this journey, if you learn about yourself, if you know yourself, you will become an author, you will become a speaker, you will become a coach, I'll be like, not for me. I'm an introvert. I like my own quietness and my space. But I had a calling. I had this calling since I was a teenager, and I ran away from it. But God always makes things beautiful. Broken can become beautiful when you allow God to work on you, take you through the journey of healing, of becoming restored, of moving beyond the pain, and realizing that your singleness is the journey to finding yourself and living purposefully. Because you're here for a purpose. You're not just here for being here. You're here for a purpose. And if that purpose is never fulfilled, it's because you don't know your true identity. And you will leave and run the race that everybody's running, the rat race. What happens at the end of the rat race? You get into the trap. You know, they set that mouse trap and you just go into it and you're like, boom, you'll get caught. Helene says, yes, God is able. You get caught in the trap. And that trap can be painful. Just imagine that analogy. Look at the mouse trap. What happens when the mouse gets trapped? That pain, you hear the mouse scream like, ah! And that's what happens when we go through the painful things. We just go through that turmoil and we scream and we cry and we get depressed, all from a traumatic place. And it begins with the childhood issues that we don't want to address. Everything that we run away from. The emotional wounds that we bury. That even sometimes when you're hearing the truth, you're going to run from yourself. I've been there, done that before. When you start hearing the truth and you don't want to heal, what you just do is like, what are they talking about? That's not about me. I'm gone. And that's your ego. Your ego doesn't want you to heal. Because you think that your ego protects you. But it doesn't fully. It just makes you make irrational decisions and live in your shadow than being the light that you are. Become committed to yourself. If you're ready to walk the commitment journey, I invite you. The 6-week module is like a 12-week program. It's $27 a month. It's called the Purposeful Relationship Inner Circle. I invite you to come in and just get to learn, get to heal, get to really work on yourself so that you can commit. I've had clients who went through the program, are married now, met partners where they did not expect because they did the work. And it's like when you meet that true reflection of who you truly become, you're going to be like, why the hell was I wasting my own time from the beginning? It's a beautiful journey. But always remember this. This is what I'm going to leave you with. If you want to join the Purposeful Relationship Inner Circle, visit my website or inbox me. It's all live classes. I don't do automated systems because you can read something and not understand and not get what you wear. So we're all going to get into it. We're all going to learn at the same time. We're all going to heal at the same time. We're all going to break down at the same time. And it's just a big community of love where we all just learn together. No judgment. If you judge, you're going to be out the program because I will kick you out. There's no judgment. It's all a space of love. That's all I have this week. I gotta go. I'm hungry. It's past my dinner time. 6 o'clock is when I eat. But again, I encourage you, stay strong. We're almost at the end of the year. We're a few days into 2021. And as we go down, I want you to really become committed to yourself. Because as you see this year took a lot of souls. And imagine that you're still here. That's an opportunity for you to begin to work on yourself. That's an opportunity for you to say, you know what? I'm tired of repeating patterns and cycles. I'm tired of looking for someone to solve my problem. If I do the work, then I will stop attracting people that bring me pain and build on the pain that I already have. If I do the work and I work on setting goals to eliminate all that I have acquired from childhood that is painful, you're welcome, darnies. Then I can get out of this bubble I'm in. I can get out of this box that I put myself. I can eliminate this limited beliefs that I've acquired for so long. I can eliminate this conditioned mindset, and I can free my own soul, because when you become liberated, no one can choose to hurt you except you choose to accept it. We are what we accept and what we allow. And if you're allowing anything less than you want, it's because you're not yet committed to yourself and the journey. The journey is so short that we don't even have control of the time and the life that we have. The time to leave is now. Just quit existing. Helene says it's time to leave, not simply exist. True that, sis. True that. So again, I invite you, connect with me, get into the Purposeful Relationship Inner Circle. The next cycle starts on January the 18th. So if you want to get in, it's every week we get on Zoom calls and we're hitting it. And you're getting to what you need. And I'm working with you one-on-one as well. It's not just the group calls. I'm working with you one-on-one to get you to where you need. And I'm not giving you just notes to go read. We're doing the work together. Just like I did the work when I did my healing process 11 years ago. And I tell you, if I look at where I am now, I'm so grateful that I gained the awareness that I gained. And I'm where I am because this is where exactly I'm supposed to be at. And you need to do the same for yourself. Stop taking yourself back. Remember, life is short. And we can't control time. And we don't have the time nor the life. Time is borrowed to us. And as long as we have this moment, it's time to do the work, to become committed to yourself, to live that purposeful life, to build that purposeful relationship with yourself so that you can build purposeful relationship with other people that are healthy and meaningful and truthful without having to audition, package, or perform. Because love cannot be bought. Love cannot be forced. Love is who you are. And who you are is what you attract. And if you're attracting less than the love that you are, it means that there's still work to be done. Always remember to never stop loving while living. When you stop loving, you stop living. When you stop living, it means it's time to go back to the maker. But while you still have the chance, do the work, become committed to yourself, heal your soul, heal your body, heal your mind, heal your spirit, and realign yourself to the journey of knowing who you are, self plus love, and becoming whole. You'll have an amazing weekend. I'll talk to you soon. Take good care. God bless. Bye-bye.